Good morning, welcome to another version of Daily Turbo with me, Dave Crane, in Sharjah. Well, in Dubai. If you say you're in Dubai, people go, wow, Dubai. Say you're in Sharjah, we go, ooh, but Sharjah is right next to Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. I've been here for about 22 years, which is why I've got such grey areas happening, making me look very old. Well, today's session, actually, all the way through today, I'm going to make Maya's breakfast and Maya's lunch. Let's just start off doing. So today's session is all about chicken and rice, and prawn, and The Walking Dead, and how they all tie in together. Excuse me, we're going off camera slightly, as I just start this going, so you have a little bit of noise in the background. So, chicken and rice. First thing is, right, nowadays, thanks to our lovely Jamie Oliver, everybody has to have really good food at school. And I understand that, it's great. My daughter's got a meal prepared for her every single, she's 5 years old, but she has cutlery, she has wonderful, every day she gets some wonderful meal. My wife cooks it for her. So she gets these wonderful meals, which, let's face it, at the age of 5, you're not exactly going to appreciate in a gourmet way. But I have no problem with this because of the idea that she grows up healthy. She doesn't have an interest in sweets, unlike Fat Daddy, who loves to eat sweets in the car. My candy obsession continues. But instead of having dessert, look, cucumber, apple, healthy stuff, which is fantastic. I have no problem with that. It means she grows up with lots of good health in her body, and she doesn't get rickets or anything like that, scurvy, or her teeth dropping out, unlike which may happen to you one day, so don't keep laughing at it. What I don't understand, right, is nowadays there's such strict guidelines about what you can have for food. Now I understand why they have it, because we know more about how food works and we live longer and so on, but when did peanuts happen? Now this is strange, because I don't get it, and somebody will just turn around to me and say, Dave, you're being stupid, this is what happened, Google it. But when I was a kid, I had peanut butter at school. And I ate it and I loved it, right? And everybody I knew at some point had peanut butter to take to school. I never knew a single person who was peanut butter intolerant, or peanut intolerant, or had a nut allergy at all in my entire life, until now. Now you go to brunches, and everywhere you go, they say might contain peanuts as a way of protecting themselves, which I completely understand, over everything. So you go, ooh, jelly, might contain peanuts. Ooh, might not have it. Bottle of water, might contain peanuts. Really? Okay, you're protecting everything, might contain peanuts. When did it happen? Have you got peanut allergy? I understand it's really serious. I understand that banana allergies and all the rest of it. I'm not big on celery, but I'm not allergic, so I just hate the taste of celery. So, whatever your allergy is, I'm going to carry on doing the kitchen stuff. And so things you have to do. Whatever your particular allergy is, I completely understand. I don't mean to be insensitive about it. I just don't understand when it happens. And talking about when things happened, that's why I want to get on to the second part of, well, the third part. Chicken, rice, which is what I'm preparing for Maya now. And you can't smell it, but it is lovely. Look at this. Mmm, chicken rice. Can you see that? That's what she gets. It smells amazing. Chicken rice, cooked by Aziza. Does she cook me any? No, nothing. What do I guess? Ooh, would you like a coffee? Yes, Dave. He said, talking to himself and making his own coffee. So, the second part, or third part of what I wanted to talk about today was The Walking Dead, which doesn't really tie in apart from it's in the same video podcast for you today. Now, I don't know where it happened either, but when did I become obsessed with zombie TV? It's like it came from out of nowhere. My very good friend George Hopkin, who's now living in Spain, who was out here for many, many years. You can check out his websites, by the way. I'll give you more details because I know George will be watching. Google him, George Hopkin. Genius, journalist and internet marketer, and he just knows digital very well. Anyway, George hijacked me. Him and his wife Tracy hijacked me one day because I had a thing where I hated zombie movies. I don't know why. I thought it was a fear of The Walking Dead. Hey, see what I did there? But I just didn't like the idea. I loved the idea of vampires. In the days when vampires were sinister, kind of superhero types, but ones that you didn't mess with, because they were part of the dark world. Do you know what I mean? When in the good old days, a vampire movie was a vampire movie. You get something like The Lost Boys, which for me was the ultimate, because it happened at the right time, in the 80s, it was cool, and it got all... When did it start becoming twinkly, go out in sunlight, look like James Dean, and kiss girls, and mope about? If I was a vampire, by the way, I would not be a depressing vampire. I would love every part of it. I'd be a stalker, and I wouldn't feel bad about biting somebody's neck. I'd be like, ooh, what flavour, where are we from? I've not tried that yet. So anyway, I don't want to talk about vampires, we'll save that for another thing. But if you enjoyed watching Twilight, then, oh, by the way, hello to Jason Isaacs. If you're a Wittertainment fan, then you have to check out Wittertainment. Simon Mayo and Mark Commode do the most amazing podcast every week on BBC 5 Live. It's a movie review show, but if you Google Wittertainment, you'll find exactly where it is. And they say hello to Jason Isaacs. So it makes sense to you if you listen to the podcast. If you don't, then you don't know what I said. I'll explain more at another date. So forget about vampires. I want to talk about zombies and The Walking Dead. Because right now, I'm intrigued and fascinated by Fear the Walking Dead. Now, I don't want to give away any spoilers. If you're a huge fan of zombie movies, this is probably, apart from Game of Thrones, the top show on the planet. How did that happen? Starring the amazing Andrew Lincoln, who's actually English. And when you see him being interviewed, you're going, where's Rick gone? Where's his voice gone? A bit like Hugh Laurie, who played House. Have you ever seen a little Brian Laurie or Blackadder? You see the real Hugh Laurie, and he's a genius, but really, really funny as well. So, The Walking Dead. The proper show, not the new one, where, let's face it, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, and you went, you know what, I'm going to watch the Fear the Walking Dead, which has to be the worst name. What should we call it? Should we call it something really good? Let's call it Kobolds. No, let's just call it Fear the Walking Dead. So all the idiots who watch the first show won't get it confused, because it's got Fear in front of them. So anyway, this whole show is created just before the zombie holocaust and overlapping it. So you see the very beginning of what started, whereas The Walking Dead starts about 6 months afterwards, when Rick wakes up from a coma in hospital. Now the big problem I have with Fear the Walking Dead, I won't give any spoilers away, is I don't know if you feel the same way, but I don't like any of the characters in it. I'm quite happy to see every single one of them turn into a zombie, and then they go, you know what, we have to stop the show there, we decided everybody had to die. We decided everybody had to go, and as a direct result of that, we're going to show you My Little Pony instead. Now, if you watch The Walking Dead and you're a big fan of it like I am, and you're wondering what Negan got up to and who's the one that's not going to appear in the next episode, and so on, I'm not giving big spoilers there. If you've been under a stone, then you might go, oh, don't spoil this! But everybody knows this. If you had a newspaper, a magazine, or even any friends, you'll know about that. But with The Walking Dead, I don't understand it right. Rick has to be the worst leader I've ever seen in my life. Every time he does a show, what happens? Somebody dies. New people come along. Hi, I'm Rick. Come along. He's with his gun, always. He's got his gun. I can't do a Rick impression, as you probably guessed. He brings him into the fold, and somebody dies. He upped me that whole thing in the last season, all about this massive quarry full of about 2,000 zombies. He puts together a cunning plan. And what does he do in the cunning plan? Kills everybody! I don't get it, right? I just don't get it. Everyone follows him. The only person that survived so far is Michonne, because she's crazy anyway, and she's got the biggest sword on the planet, so she's a ninja, which does help. And Carl. Carl is bonkers. If he was in the real world, he would be in prison, because he'd already stabbed all his friends. Zombie world fits him perfect. So I have a real issue with Rick every single time. Oh, sorry, Daryl as well, but he was quiet in the first episode. But I hate to say it, that Daryl, or Glenn, or Maggie, could be all of them. Not to spoil it, but you know what I'm talking about. Now, the truth is, I want to end on this note, because I realise that my daughter's upstairs watching Teen Titans Go, and she's waiting for Dad to bring up breakfast, and Daddy is talking to you. Here's the last thing. If you're scared of The Walking Dead, if you're worried about a zombie holocaust, if you've already kept stuff in the kitchen, in a box, just in case it all breaks out, so you go yum 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 yum, and eat all the pot noodles that you can get your hands on, it would never happen. Not least because, just saying, Superman, Batman, all this stuff wouldn't happen. Nature hates a void. So if you found that Walking Dead happened, and zombies are walking around, certainly if that happened where I live, it'd take about 2 days for everybody to eat everybody else. Didn't have to even be zombies. I just think that people that hang around outside my house would probably just go, ooh, fancy some Jamaican tonight. Let's get stuck into Dave. If it did happen in real life, this is what would happen. Nature hates a void. So zombies happen and they're walking around. All that would happen is predators, natural predators that are kept at bay by having humans around, would then take over. So wherever you live, whatever a natural predator is, whether it's a badger or a fox or it's a bear, or it's a mountain lion, or it's a, I don't know, a lynx, whatever it is, they would step up. There'd be more of them which would go out and hunt people. Certainly go out and hunt zombies. Now, in the zombie movies, by the way, Robert Kirkman in the comics doesn't have animals turning into zombies. And you've seen that in The Walking Dead. Why? Because he couldn't draw them. That's why he doesn't put them in. So supposing that's true, supposing we don't turn into zombies, and we don't, because it's a different gene pool, a bit like AIDS and so on. Well, what would happen is crows and other birds like that and parasites would just step up. There'd be more of them. Because people would be turned into walking buffets. They're walking around with all this flesh on them, unable to stop crows having a go at them. There'd just be mountains and mountains of crows flying around, eating zombies. And with a very short amount of time, we wouldn't be the top species on the planet anymore. There'd be more with nature coming in to fill the gap. So don't worry about it. If a zombie holocaust breaks out, all you have to do is turn into a bird or a bear, and then you'll be fine. What? You have no idea why I'm talking about this first time in the morning. Well, why? Because today, the next episode of Fear the Walking Dead comes out. And Game of Thrones. And Penny Dreadful. And don't get me started on Penny Dreadful. Anyway, I'm going to carry on making mine as breakfast, because I made peanut butter sandwiches for breakfast. Peanut butter, yes, using peanuts. I've done the chicken and rice that I promised. And now I've covered The Walking Dead. So whatever you're doing today, join me in the car. We'll have another little natter. Not sure what about yet. Answers of a postcard. And I'll catch you later on. Be good to yourself, you crazy kids. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Be nice. Bye-bye.